Now, I'm very pleased to say I'm joined by Director of Stadia for Ladbroke Coral, Ian Smyth. And first thing to do, Ian, is thank you for allowing us to show the excellent Ladbroke's Puppy Derby final tonight.
Uh, it's a pleasure, Jason. It's just unfortunate that it is the only way of seeing it, and I feel desperately sorry for those owners that have got dogs in the final. But we can at least get it out on TV, and it's a really good race. Just unfortunate in these circumstances that it is on RPG TV in this way. But no, it's a great race.
It most certainly is. You must be buoyed by the enthusiasm though, that everybody has shown to continue racing.
Definitely, I think the industry's really come together in the last week, and we recognise that there is a particular challenge if we don't race. Obviously, trainers being self-employed aren't potentially liable to be aided by some of the government assistance that was announced yesterday. So we feel it's really crucial that we can do everything that we can, obviously while providing a safe environment for those staff that are working, to allow the dogs to continue running, which generates the income for trainers to make sure that the dogs continue to be well looked after. So it's really key that we do that, and we've had a good week in that respect.
And obviously for you, something you've mentioned many times in the past, and even particular with what's currently going on, welfare is an absolute priority.
I think it is for everybody, but at this point in time, the huge concern on two fronts is that if we don't race, it becomes more difficult for the trainers to continue to earn a living, and there's an obvious knock-on effect to the welfare of the greyhounds. But that aside, the fact that with no racing, large numbers of dogs are going to be sitting on their bed with very little to do for what looks like a sustained period of time now, unfortunately. So it's really key, I think, that we do keep things going. But it's important that we do it in the right way, and we don't put our staff, we don't put trainers or trainers' staff at risk in any way. And with that in mind, I think you've seen in the last 24 hours, the GBGB have given some very clear advice and some very detailed advice around some of the ways that we could try to manage that in terms of making sure that we do maintain and manage social distancing at track, and restrict access to those that are absolutely necessary.
Now, of course, you've got four tracks under your tutelage, as it were: Romford, Hove, Monmore, and Crayford. Do in any way they offer different problems, for want of a better word, and presumably you're in close contact with each individual racing manager there.
Yeah, look, we talk each day. We've done nothing but talk in the last 7 days, in all honesty. But we are in regular contact. We've been speaking again today. Obviously, situations changed a bit with the announcement around betting shops closing last night. But each track is different. One of the advantages to not having access to customers is we have quite a large space. So in terms of being able to distance socially, those sort of fairly small numbers of people that are at tracks are able to do that. But we are managing each case individually. If I use a couple of examples, Monmore, I think, is recognised as having a really nice, certainly by paddock standards, quite spacious paddock. Crayford's is very tight, and with that in mind, we're very, very clear on who can be in and move within that paddock at Crayford. It is very much only those that are essential for the race that's running and the next race on. And we are moving people out and making sure that they've got space around the rest of the track to stay safe and stay distant from each other. Racing offices are all different shapes and sizes. We've moved people out of the Crayford office, which doubles up as the steward's box. And they're now working in the restaurant area where they can, because that's closed off to everybody else. But we're reviewing day by day. The government are announcing and giving new advice each day. And as a result of that, I think we take stock of that. We assess what we're doing and how we do it, and see whether or not there's anything that we can do differently. But the key for us through all of this is very much constantly assessing what we do and where we're at to make sure that our staff are safe. We're not exposing them to any increased risk. We're compliant with the government advice at all times. And that allows us to continue giving the greyhounds opportunities to race and obviously fund from a welfare point of view. And it's quite simple in that respect. Anybody that's not crucial to the racing operation isn't at work. We've sent everybody home. We're paying people for the next 2 weeks. We'd made that decision on Wednesday afternoon that we would completely clear the track out. So the only staff that you will see there are absolutely critical to the racing operation.
I'm sure people will be very, very reassured by what you've just said, Ian. You've spoken excellently, and it just shows that you've got with the greyhounds and all your staff's welfare very, very much to your heart. Just one more question to ask you, Ian. You didn't exactly dodge it because I didn't ask it earlier on, but come on, hard question now. Who is going to win the Ladbrokes Puppy Derby final?
I'm the worst judge going, as I think anyone that's listened to me when I've been on your show previously would testify. But I would expect Queen Jessie J, who's been tremendous in the 2 rounds so far, to get out and lead to the first bend, and I think that will be good enough. I think she'll lead all the way. Trap 3, Ernie's dog, who's got a brilliant recent record at Monmore, be in the danger, but I'd expect Trap 2, Queen Jessie J, to get out. Be well back today, 6-5 into 10-11, and that would be I think that would be my nap for the night. I think she looks to have a great chance.
Ian, thank you very, very much for that. And obviously they are uncertain times, but to repeat myself, what you said earlier, I'm sure we will reassure a lot of people. Thanks once more, and every continued success whilst we're going through this, and particularly when we get to the other side as well. See you soon.
Thanks, Jason. See you soon.